champion. Cruising down the Vegas Strip in a candy-red Lamborghini, iced-out chains catching neon lights. He lives fast, fights harder, and cashes every check with swagger. Designer fits, private jets, millions in the bank. From wild interviews to walk-off knockouts, Rolly turned controversy into currency and swagger into superstardom. So before we dive into the rise, the roar, and the raw energy of Rolando Romero, smash that like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. And hey, if you're looking for a custom website or software solution that hits just as hard, follow the link in the description and let DesiTech Consultancy bring your digital vision to life. This isn't just another boxing story. It's the wild ride of the sport's most unpredictable superstar. And trust us, you won't want to miss the next round. Born on October 14th, 1995, in Las Vegas, Nevada, Rolly didn't have the polished pedigree of your typical boxing prodigy. No Olympic medals, no carefully crafted rise through the amateur circuit. Just raw power, wild ambition, and a chip on his shoulder. His professional debut in 2016 lasted barely a round. A first-round TKO that announced he wasn't here to play the long game. He was here to dominate. As his career took off, so did the controversy. There were brutal knockouts and brash interviews, wild predictions and bitter rivalries. He clashed with champions, called out the sport's elite, and made sure his name was always echoing in the headlines. With every belt he added, first lightweight, then super lightweight, and finally welterweight in 2025, he wasn't just climbing the ranks. He was carving out a legacy on his own chaotic terms. But Rolly's story isn't just about the wins. It's about the losses, too. The brutal TKO from Gervonta Davis, the punishing defeat by Isaac Cruz. Each time the world thought he was finished, he came back, louder, sharper, and somehow even more dangerous. Now, with titles in 3 weight classes and an estimated net worth of about $7.5 million, Rolly Romero has become more than a fighter. He's a brand. Sponsored by Nike, Everlast, and Hublet, with millions in the bank and millions more watching, he's reached the top of the mountain. But here's the thing about chaos. It thrives in the climb, not the calm. So now that Rolly's at the top, one question lingers in the air. What happens to a fighter who was built in the fire when the flames start to die down? The answer might just define everything that comes next. When Rolly turned pro on December 2nd, 2016, it wasn't with fanfare or some viral Olympic backstory. It was with fists. Heavy, unforgiving fists. That night at Sam's Town Hotel in Nevada, he bulldozed David Courtney in the first round, sending a clear message. He wasn't here to dance. He was here to destroy. Over the next 3 years, he tore through opponents, racking up knockout after knockout. The technique was rough, the style unorthodox, but the results were undeniable. 8 straight wins, 7 by stoppage. He wasn't just winning, he was mauling. By April 2019, Rolly's name was circling in boxing circles. He flattened Andres Figueroa with a brutal 4th-round knockout on a Danny Garcia undercard. Then came a series of statement fights. A first-round demolition of Juan Carlos Cordones. A second-round TKO of the undefeated Arturs Amatovs under the bright lights of Wilder versus Fury 2. He wasn't just rising, he was exploding. In August 2020, Romero got his first real shot, a title fight against the slick Dominican Jackson Martinez for the vacant WBA interim lightweight belt. 12 rounds later, Rolly had his hand raised, but controversy overshadowed the victory. Many felt Martinez had outboxed him. Fans and pundits called the decision a robbery, but Rolly didn't blink. To him, a win was a win, and the belt was his. His next fights were defined not just by violence, but chaos. Opponents dropped out. Weight issues plagued matchups. In one case, Justin Paldo missed weight, then failed a pre-fight physical, and stepped Avery Sparrow at the last minute. And even with just 5 weeks of training, Sparrow took Romero deep. Rolly still won, 7th-round TKO, but he wasn't happy. He fought like a coward. He spat, clearly irritated by the brawling tactics thrown back at him. In July 2021, more drama. He was supposed to fight Austin Dulé, who pulled out days before the bout. Raleigh claimed it was a panic attack. Dule said it was a knee injury and even offered $10,000 to reschedule. Into the chaos stepped Anthony Yajit, who missed weight by over 5 pounds. The title was off the table, but Raleigh didn't care. He beat Yajit up, knocked him down multiple times, and stopped in the 7th. The crowd booed. Raleigh shrugged. I fought a 140-pounder, and King stopped him. Simple as that. Then came the fight that was supposed to change everything. Gervonta Tank Davis. Set for December 2021. It was canceled when Raleigh was pulled from the card after sexual assault allegations emerged. But no charges were filed. And in 2022, the fight was back on. May 28th, Raleigh talked endlessly, promised a knockout, and fought boldly. But in the 6th round, Davis clipped him with a crushing counter, sending Romero face first into the ropes. The fight was over. His perfect record? Gone. Most fighters would have disappeared for a while. Not Raleigh. By early 2023, he announced a move up to light welterweight to fight WBA champ Alberto Puello. But once again, the spotlight bent to chaos. Puello tested positive for a banned substance and was pulled. Romero now faced 40-year-old veteran Ismael Barroso for the vacant title. The fight was ugly. Raleigh looked off. Barroso was winning on all 3 scorecards and outlanding him. But in the 9th, the ref stepped in, controversially, and awarded Raleigh the TKO. Boos rained down. Experts cried foul. But again, Raleigh had the belt. And then Isaac Pitbull Cruz. March 30th, 2024. T-Mobile Arena. Raleigh's first real test at 140 pounds. Cruz broke him by round 8. Romero could barely defend himself. The ref stopped it and the belt was gone. The chaos had caught up, but he didn't retreat. On September 14th, 2024, he stepped back in with Manuel James. No trash talk, no drama, just a clean, workmanlike unanimous decision win. It was different, controlled, focused. Then came the biggest surprise of all. On May 2nd, 2025, Times Square, New York, Rolly Romero faced Ryan Garcia for the vacant WBA welterweight title. Few gave him a shot, but for 10 electric rounds, Rolly delivered the performance of a lifetime. Disciplined, powerful, relentless. The judges were unanimous. Romero was champion again, this time in a 3rd weight class. He had gone from controversial knockout artist to 3-division world champion. But with every rise, there's a shadow. Because now the question isn't whether Rolly Romero can climb. It's whether he can stay at the top, without burning the whole thing down. For Rolando Rolly Romero, chaos has always followed him. The knockouts, the controversies, the showboating, it's the image everyone knows. But beyond the ring, there's a version of Rolly the world rarely sees. He's never been married, never paraded lovers across social media. When it comes to relationships, he's private, guarded. He's made jokes about dating, dropped cryptic tweets, but never named names. Except for one, Devin, his daughter. Devin is the only person Rolly has ever let into the spotlight without hesitation. You'll find her at his fights, watching her dad from ringside, wide-eyed and proud. In those moments, something shifts. Rolly isn't the loudmouth showman. He's just a dad trying to make his little girl proud. He rarely talks about her mother, and no one knows if they're still together or even ever were. But Devin? She's the heart he doesn't hide. He's admitted, almost casually, that he wants a real family someday. But not now. Boxing still owns him. Maybe it's his way of avoiding vulnerability. Maybe the ring is his safe place, the only space where he feels fully in control. Still, one can't help but wonder, when the lights go out and the roar of the crowd fades, what does Rolly Romero truly want? And if he's this fierce in the pursuit of greatness, what kind of man could he become in the pursuit of love? From a moment he exploded onto the boxing scene with his wild swagger and unpredictable power, his rise wasn't just about beating opponents. It was about building an empire. While others saw him as a loudmouth with heavy hands, Rolly saw himself as something more, a brand. And like any fighter who knows the clock is ticking on their time at the top, he started investing, not just in training, but in his future. You can see in the gloves and gear stamped with his name, worn by young fighters hoping to channel even a fraction of his fire. His apparel line is raw, bold, and unmistakably Raleigh. Loud prints, flashy cuts, built for those who want to stand out. But the hustle doesn't stop at merchandise. His name is tied to major sponsorships: Nike, Everlast, Hublet, each one adding another layer to his growing business resume. And then there's Las Vegas, his kingdom. He's not just living in it. He's buying it one property at a time. Rental units, long-term holds. He's been quietly stacking real estate, setting himself up for a life beyond the ropes. But make no mistake, he's not just chasing comfort. He's chasing control. He's already spoken about launching his own boxing promotion, one built for the hungry, the overlooked, the fighters like he once was. The mansion, the Lamborghini, the Rolex, those are just reflections of a mindset that refuses to settle. Because Rolando Romero isn't just building wealth, he's building power. But with everything he's built and everything he owns, what happens when the fire that fueled it all starts to flicker? When the lights dim and the empire is quiet, can Rolando Romero sit still? Or will he need a new war to fight? Before you go, don't miss out on exclusive perks. Click the link in the description to become a channel member and enjoy awesome benefits, like suggesting future video topics, getting early access to new content 48 hours before anyone else, and much more. Your support means the world and helps us keep bringing you the stories you love. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, drop a comment, and subscribe for more amazing content. And while you're here, why not check out our deep dive into Daniel Dubois' video? Trust me, you won't want to miss it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.